Yeah, you, come here. Haven't you heard? We don't need to hide anymore. Now, we can shop privately for adult products at adamandeve.com. They've got massage oils, lingerie, and lots more we can't mention here. Use offer code SPICE404. They'll give you 50% off almost any one item, 3 free DVDs, free mystery gift, and free shipping. That's 50% off, free shipping, and more. Private shopping starts at adamandeve.com.
Turnpike Sports Book Report.
The Turnpike Sports Book Report is brought to you by BorgataSports.com. Your favorite casino is now your favorite sportsbook. Available anywhere in New Jersey, BorgataSports.com. Sign up at BorgataSports.com using our promo code PIKE, that's P-I-K-E. Make your first wager of $20 or more and you'll get $100 in free bets. That's $100 in free bets when your first wager on Borgata Sports is $20 or more. Get into the action with BorgataSports.com. Must be 21 years or older and in New Jersey to place a bet. Terms and conditions apply. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
And welcome to another edition of the Book Report, where we go through the news and notes from the sports books around the country. Now, it could be sports betting numbers in terms of revenue and handle, news with regards to legislation, launches, deals, and we've got a whole bunch of things to run down this week. We got some state and national numbers to talk about. We've got a couple launches, especially one very interesting one in Washington, D.C. We've got legislation, Massachusetts, Arizona, Oregon, and even a bunch of deals. We have a deal that involves Tipico for the first time.
Yeah, they're in New Jersey, but they're one of those sports books you don't hear a lot about.
Well, they're a German sports book, so they just did a major deal. But before we get to some of the deals, let's hit some of the numbers.
Okay.
We had Nevada, Rhode Island, Colorado, and Tennessee for this week report their numbers. In terms of handle, 3 states went up, 1 state went down.
Okay.
We're going to hit, let's go to Nevada first. They had a June handle of $545 million. That's up 14% from May. Online handle of $314 million, which was up about 5.5%. Or 57.6% of the total handle.
Okay.
The interesting number about the percentage of the online handle is the fact that May was 62.4% in terms of the percentage of online handle to the total handle, and then 64.8 in April. So they're having slowly decreasing online handle numbers.
Well, more and more people are going to the actual physical sports books. You know, it's certainly a summertime and vacation destination in Las Vegas. So, you know, they're having that go. That's affecting the numbers.
Well, I think you also got to look at, I think McCarran International Airport reported a huge increase in the tourist numbers. Flight numbers coming in, passengers.
Certainly, that's what's going on, and it's open, and people are going back into the casinos and sports books. I think they have a mask mandate now for people inside, so I guess you got to mask up again. So, but still, people are in there, and people are traveling from around the country. Usually, it's from places that don't have sports betting, and they're trying their hand at sports betting in the sports books.
Yep. And also, this is the 18th time in the post-PASPA era that Nevada has cleared $500 million in monthly handle.
Great.
The most of any state. New Jersey is second with 14 times.
Mm-hmm.
Also, the 20th time Nevada cleared $25 million in revenue. They had a revenue in June of $29.2 million. So it's the 20th time they've cleared $25 million in revenue. Most of any state as well. Jersey's right there with them at 18.
Okay.
So it's always Nevada, New Jersey, 1, 2. Okay. Or whichever way you want to look at it, monthly, yearly, however. It's always those 2 states now. Rhode Island, the interesting thing here, the fiscal year numbers that they released as well as their June numbers, they had a total handle of fiscal year 2020 to 2021 of just under $353 million. That's up 76% from the previous fiscal year. That's COVID numbers.
Sure.
You're comparing
Absolutely. It should be up.
Online handle was up 270%.
Okay.
184 million this fiscal year compared to fiscal year 2019-20, which was 49.8 million.
You got to remember something about Rhode Island and also about New Hampshire. They're really the only states in New England that have sports betting. So, if people are in Massachusetts and they want to place a bet on something, they either have to go to Rhode Island or they have to go to New Hampshire. And, I don't think Maine is going to have sports betting anytime soon.
Maine shelved it.
Yeah, I don't think Vermont is even looking at it. You're going to have Connecticut coming up with sports betting.
Well,
so
we'll talk about Connecticut in a little bit.
It'd be very interesting to see the numbers with regard to Rhode Island as Connecticut goes online.
And we'll see what happens in Massachusetts.
Yeah.
Let's see, Colorado. Colorado is becoming a famous destination for table tennis betting.
Yes, if you like table tennis, you want to get to Colorado to place a bet on it. Is it still number 6? I know it was number 6 last month. The number 6 sport bet on.
Well, it held on to that spot.
Okay, all
6
right.
is the 6th top sport. If you want to look at it, and depends on how you report these numbers, because if you're reporting categories, parlays were higher than table tennis. If the top 5 categories: basketball 74.8 million in handle, baseball 54.5. Here's where parlays come in. Parlays were 3rd with 33.9 million. I don't consider that a sport. So,
No.
It's the top 5: basketball, baseball. Then you have soccer and tennis, and then hockey was 6th as in terms of listings, but soccer, tennis, and hockey rounded up the top 5 sports.
Okay.
Hockey had 10.7 million. Table tennis was 6th with 8.678 million.
Okay.
They were 3.8% of the total handle of the June numbers for Colorado. Also, one of the more interesting things regarding Colorado, compared to the mixed markets out there that have retail and online, they have the highest percentage of bets placed on mobile. I think it was 98.8% of the total handle was done mobile in Colorado.
This is Colorado, huh?
That's
Wow.
Colorado.
Wow, boy.
Very, very unique situation there,
Yeah.
and it's a lot of the hotels have started just reopening and everything. So I think you're going to see maybe a little bit of decline. I don't know if a total decline, but 98.8%. That's almost nearly 100%. That's almost like an online only market.
Well, look, I mean, there's nothing like betting online and in your home, laying down on your couch with either your tablet or your cell phone in your hand and watching a game and throwing a bet on it and not even getting up off the couch.
Well,
that's a great thing.
Speaking of online only markets,
Yes.
Tennessee, they're averaging still around 170 million in handle every month. This is the first double-digit hold since launching last November. They had a hold of 10.49%. They hit that legislative hold number.
Okay.
First time since they did that in November of 2020.
Yeah, by law, they're supposed to have, 10% hold?
10% or more. And when they don't hit that 10%, there's some kind of economic adjustment the books have to do with their numbers. I think they have like another period to actually get above the 10%,
All right.
or they get a penalty.
Well, this time they actually achieved it with 10.49%.
Like I said, first double-digit hold since launching last November. Tennessee also became the 9th state with legalized sports betting to clear $1 billion in handle in the 2021 calendar year. So between January and June, they cleared $1 billion in handle.
Wow, it's only 6 months. That's only half a year.
But that's 9 states, though.
Yeah. boy.
That's an incredible number to look at there. And
So if there's any state debating whether to allow sports betting, you can see these numbers coming in, and sports betting does wonders for your state.
one other little news and note here from Tennessee. Tennessee's average bet per citizen was $161.27.
I mean,
That's per person in the state of Tennessee.
I mean
That's not assuming everybody bet.
well, that's not one bet though.
That's the average of per citizen wagered in the month.
Okay. All right.
That's how it broke down. And it's slightly higher than Virginia. They're the other online-only state, $155.47. So Tennessee was slightly above them in terms of the first 6 months of the year.
Okay.
So kind of little interesting numbers there. Now, we just had just about everybody report their sports betting handle and revenue numbers for the month of June. Everybody except Illinois right now.
Illinois is always behind.
Yeah, it's always 60 to 90 days behind. Without Illinois, the June national state revenue tax is at $34 million. That's the most tax collected. Is the sixth highest tax collected in the post-PASPA era.
Okay.
So
this is national. This is how much taxes was collected from sports betting.
The U.S. sports betting industry has generated
Okay.
taxes of $41.34 million. That's without Illinois reporting. And, we'll see exactly what Illinois brings in terms of taxes. I think what they shoot for always is seeing if they get to $50 million. That's always the record.
Again, like I said, if there's any state wondering if they could benefit from sports betting, you see those tax revenue numbers, and your state will certainly profit from sports betting.
Well, let's talk a little bit about these states coming up here. Connecticut. There was a report out there that FanDuel and DraftKings may not be able to launch at the start of football season.
Really? Oh, boy.
It all has to do with the compact.
Okay. This is the compact between the Native American tribe and the state of Connecticut.
The Mohegan tribe and the Mashantucket Pequot tribe. They did their deals with FanDuel and DraftKings. The Department of Interior just received the compacts. So they have a 45-day window to review the compacts and approve them. They can do it quicker than that.
So they're not going to rush through it. I mean, if you're looking at red tape, I guess you're not really banking on them starting by the NFL season. But who knows? I mean, maybe they have Department of Interior has a free afternoon that they can take a look at the compacts and approve it. So,
well, the 45-day window.
Let's hope.
The 45-day window ends September 10th.
All right.
First day of NFL season is September 9th.
Ooh, okay.
So there's a chance they can still get it launched, but the problem is once they're approved, the compact is not officially recognized until it's published in the Federal Registrar.
But can they start betting before they're placed in the Federal Register? Oh, okay.
No, see, that's the problem. And also, it all really depends on when they're published in the Federal Registrar, because it could take several days, up to a week after the Department of Interior approves the compact.
Well, maybe they'll get it done in August, and they'll put it in the Federal Registrar by late August, and, betting will occur. Because I know there's some temporary things that they're setting up, especially in Mohegan Sun, right? I think I did a news story.
They're planning on a temporary book in September.
Yeah, and then a permanent book later on in the year, and possibly in the winter and early next year.
Well, whether or not they're going to be able to take bets is going to be an interesting issue. As opposed to two states that are moving very fast, Arizona. Arizona released their approved sports betting rules, and they also have now a timeline that they're going to be following. Qualified applicants can apply August 16th. Marketing account creation and app downloads are allowed to begin August 28th.
Wow.
Sportsbooks set to launch September 9th, which is the first day of the NFL season.
Wow. They know what they're doing.
Yep, they're moving right along. They've gotten sportsbooks deals already announced between DraftKings, FanDuel, Barstool, WynnBET, PointsBet, Unibet, Ballybet, Caesars. All have sportsbook deals in the state already.
That's going to be a huge market.
It's going to be a fun market to watch.
Arizona is going to be a great sports betting market.
And they also confirmed that daily fantasy operators can launch on August 28th.
Wow, look at that.
So they are going full bore.
What a fall Arizona is going to have.
That's going to be a fun state to watch, especially during the football season, to see exactly where they go with all this stuff. As opposed to Massachusetts.
Massachusetts doesn't even have poker.
No.
They don't even have legal poker.
They pushed that off.
If you listen to the interview with Brian Pempis, you can see that the two casinos that were offering poker have not opened up their poker operations yet, or reopened up their poker operations yet. So, and I guess they're going to make a decision at the end of the year. So
Well,
stay tuned
Senate,
for
no,
Massachusetts.
No, Massachusetts Senate in terms of sports betting.
Oh, well, I'm talking about poker.
Poker is,
At the end of the year, they'll make their decision at the end of the year. Now on to sports betting.
You hope poker is at the end of the year.
Well, who knows? But now you moved on to sports betting.
Yeah.
What's Massachusetts doing
Well,
with sports
they
betting?
just had the House pass the sports betting bill. I think the number I got in my notes, 156-3. The House passed the sports betting bill. Now, the next step is the Senate, and the Senate's always been the problem for sports betting in Massachusetts.
I don't even think it's on the schedule for the Senate to even talk about.
They have not even decided when they're going to take up the sports
Okay,
betting bill.
well.
They haven't even decided what sports betting bill they're going to discuss, because there's two of them. There's the House bill, which is actually a great sports betting plan, and then you have the Senate bill. Senate Bill 269. It's a very interesting bill because it does a lot of limiting. And
That's what laws do.
it sets a cap to 6 online licenses as opposed to the untethered one in the House bill. And the other thing I noticed, which was really, really odd, they want to license the data firms. They want to require official data be used by the sports books, but the data firms have to be licensed by the state.
That's the proposed Senate bill, but the one that passed in the House, they don't have that provision.
No, they don't
right?
have that at all.
Okay.
And also the Senate bill restricts...
House bill is very good. I like the House bill.
The Senate bill prohibits college betting.
That's weird. That's interesting.
That's a total restriction.
Kind of ridiculous.
One other little news and notes legislation-wise, I guess this falls under legislation-wise, Oregon. As everyone knows, the Oregon sports betting industry is run by the Scoreboard app. Now, Oregon Lottery has been trying to decide whether to keep it or move on to a different platform, and it looks like they may have been in discussions with DraftKings about this for a while because DraftKings ended all their daily fantasy sports operations in Oregon.
Because wasn't in Oregon, they were saying there was a question whether fantasy sports was legal.
There's a legality question
wasn't
there.
That the whole thing in
and
Oregon?
I think DraftKings is in such a position right now to get the sports betting market like they do in New Hampshire.
Yeah.
That they stopped DFS, Daily Fantasy Sports, in the state, and they're going to focus on working out a deal with the Oregon Lottery to control the sports betting industry there.
Okay. All right.
And FanDuel, never one to miss a beat, announced that they will continue with their fantasy sports.
Okay.
So,
we'll see what happens.
Fantasy sports people, if you can't get to DraftKings, you also have the option for FanDuel.
That's for people in Oregon.
Yep. Now, let's talk about Washington, D.C. This
is very interesting. I like this.
I actually am very curious to see how this is received by the general public in the district. I think it's great news in terms of the industry itself, but whether or not the residents of the district actually like it or not, we'll see what happens. The D.C. Lottery announced that 4 sports betting kiosks have been placed in bars and restaurants in the district.
That's great.
Four locations will have sports betting kiosks on the premises. And they list them out. Ben's next door on U Street, Lou's City Bar on Irving Street Northwest, Dirty Water Sports Bar on H Street Northeast. By the way, Dirty Water is a really cool sports bar. If you ever get a chance in D.C. to get to Dirty Water Sports Bar, one of the best bars you can ever go to.
Is it a Boston-based kind of, is it a Boston fan bar kind of thing? Because Dirty Water, that's a big song up in Boston. Love that Dirty Water.
It's not really
No,
it's not really Boston based, but
well, I'm not Boston based. I mean, like a Boston fan bar.
No, not really.
No,
not really.
Okay.
And Tacoma Station Tavern on 4th Street Northwest. Now, these machines, these are kiosks only. There's no live person there. They actually kick out a ticket, like a lottery ticket, when you place your bets.
Now, where can you redeem these things at?
Well, first things first.
Okay.
You can't use a credit card.
No, okay.
It's cash only.
Cash only. All right.
18 years or older.
Wow, that's great.
Can place a bet on nearly any sporting event, including the Olympics, which are going on now.
All right.
Winning tickets can be cashed up to $600 anonymously at the locations.
Okay. All right.
Anything above that, you got to have an ID and go to the lottery headquarters to collect the winnings.
Okay.
And just like a lottery ticket, the D.C. Lottery said winning tickets expire after 180 days.
All right. So check your tickets.
And the lottery expects to have at least 30 more locations by the end of the year.
Hey, I hope other states follow suit. Well, Washington, D.C. is not a state, but I hope states follow Washington, D.C.'s guidance.
Aren't they looking at making D.C. a state at some point?
I hope so. They should.
We'll see. But let's go over to some deals, which were kind of interesting. Let's do the simple one first. Actually, this is almost commonplace now. BetMGM. They announced the signing of former NFL running back Marshawn Lynch as brand ambassador.
Okay.
Lynch will be doing marketing campaigns, promotions, fan events, different activations for the BetMGM Sportsbook. But let's get to two really interesting deals that combine sports betting and media. We have WynnBET and Tipico. Now, we don't talk about Tipico too much.
No.
German operator. They are only operating right now in New Jersey. They did a huge deal with Gannett.
All right.
The media company.
It's a big media company.
People will know Gannett better by the
newspapers, really.
Newspapers they do, but you'll know them better by USA Today. They own the USA Today brand. They own like the Indy Star, Detroit Free Press. And one of the things about the USA Today network of sites and papers they have a huge betting system.
USA Today, really?
They have a betting site.
I have to check out the USA Today betting section then if they have a betting section.
They have a huge, actually one of the best out there in terms of sports betting reporting.
Okay, USA Today.
USA Today.
All right, I'll check it out.
As a matter of fact, I believe their site used to be called For the Win.
Okay.
Their sports betting sections, because now it's not going to be that anymore. It's
right.
going to be rebranded as Bet for the Win, powered by Tipico Sportsbook. So the fact that this is a wide-ranging media deal, it's going to be a 5-year deal. Tipico will spend $90 million with Gannett in terms of advertising and affiliate fees.
Wow.
So it's going to be basically plateau numbers. You hit so many customers coming back, they're going to be spending up to $90 million on the deal for 5 years. Also, Gannett will also have the right to acquire a minority interest in Tipico's U.S. business. That's an interesting little maneuver, and I think we saw that in a couple other deals where, in exchange for hitting certain plateaus and over the course of the deals, they get majority or not majority, but ownership interest in the U.S. operations.
By the way, I'm on the USA Today site For the Win. Very good section. I got to check this out.
It will no longer be called For the Win.
Oh, it's not? Okay, not For the Win.
It's going to be rebranded. Like I said, it's going to be rebranded Bet for the Win, powered by Tipico Sportsbook.
Okay.
You're going to see Tipico content all across the USA Today network of sports and betting sites, beginning at the NFL season. So this deal is starting right away. This is a quick form deal. It's probably been in the works for a month or two, maybe even longer than that, because these deals are not easy to structure. And also part of the deal that was announced was that Tipico not only will be in New Jersey, they're also going to be launching in Colorado soon, too.
Great.
So they're going to be adding to that 98.8% online handle that Colorado seems to report almost every month. The other big media deal was WynnBET. Mm-hmm. Multi-year, multi-platform deal with Cumulus Media. That's actually kind of interesting because it kind of goes with iHeart with their sports betting channels that they'll be doing, the gamblers and all that stuff. WynnBET will be all across every Cumulus Media outlet, both radio as well as digital.
Great.
They're going to be seeing a lot of studio sponsorships, local advertising in the different markets or at the radio stations, brand endorsements from the local radio personalities for WynnBET. And also they're going to be doing some stuff on site events. That's going to involve the WynnBET studio in Encore Vegas.
I got to tell you, I'm seeing a lot of their commercials in New Jersey now on TV. So, WynnBET is making a big splash.
Well, again, it's going to be one of those interesting deals to see exactly how it progresses. WynnBET did also deals with different podcast networks. I know they did Blue Wire Podcast.
Yep.
They're the official sportsbook of that
Actually, I think
podcast network.
Don't they have a studio in Vegas in the Wynn?
That's where the Wynn Vegas
All right.
studio comes into play, where they're going to be doing on-site stuff with WynnBET.
Great.
So it's going to be kind of interesting to watch that one develop as well. And last deal for the week here, and then we'll have to end it right here. DraftKings, they did a deal with Sports and Social, the upscale sports bar chain that's run by the Cordish companies.
It has great casinos. I mean, the one I need to know the specific name of it. Is it Maryland Live or Live Maryland Casino and Hotel? I know they have one in Philadelphia. Is it Live Philadelphia? Everyone's calling it Philly Live. So I don't know the official name of this thing.
Well, it's Live Philadelphia.
Live Philadelphia.
The one in Maryland is Maryland Live.
Maryland Live.
Now, this all is part of the Sports and Social bars.
That's where the sports and social bars are that I'm familiar with.
Well, they're all over the country.
Okay, well, those are the two I'm familiar with.
And it's all part of Live Dining and Entertainment. That's the division that runs Sports and Social.
Okay.
They're going to be opening DraftKings branded sports bars in Nashville and Detroit first.
Okay.
Where they have some really huge Sports and Social bar restaurants there.
I like those combinations. We were in one in New Jersey. It was it was PointsBet,
Topgolf,
and Topgolf. Yeah, Topgolf and PointsBet combined, and it was such a great place. Great food. You have golf, and you have PointsBet's presence there. It was a great scene. I like it.
Well, the one thing that's going to differ between the Topgolf PointsBet deal and the DraftKings Sports and Social deal, the Sports and Socials are not only in casinos, but they are in sporting venues. There's a couple in stadiums. Great. There's a couple concert halls, that sort of stuff. And it's going to be they're going to be rebranding not just the name, but they're going to be redesigning some of the venues. They hired a company called iCrave to create an upscale premier sports and entertainment experience. Now, God knows what that means.
I don't know what that means either.
That is perfect PR speak for they're going to make a really high-end, cool-looking, snazzy little joint that's going to be having sports betting as well as fantasy sports as well as food and drink. Now, the one thing about this, the DraftKings, since they're fantasy, this has a lot more applications than just being a sports book.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, I mean, DraftKings is going to be taking advantage of the 55 million visitors to Sports and Social places around the country. So this was a great deal.
Great.
That's it for this week's book report. If you have any news or notes you want us to talk about, info@turnpikesportsradio.com. Whatever we didn't get to, and again, there's a lot more stuff we didn't have the chance to talk about this week. Head on over to turnpikesportsradio.com and click on the blog button. You'll see a print version of the book report.
That'll do it for us this week. We'll see you next time on the Turnpike.